It's time to break down some football.
We got to get our mind right. Touchdown, win.
From the perspective of guys who played in the NFL.
Caught, touchdown!
And a guy who had one really great sack in high school.
Oh, you're so weak. You're a waste of my time.
Greg Camarillo and Marcus McNeil are the pros, and Skraby is the Joe.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Two Pros and a Joe starts right now.
Two Pros and a Joe back for week 3. I am Skraby. We got Greg Camarillo and Marcus McNeil here with us. Those guys are the pros. I am the Joe. And we have a lot to talk about in the week 3 recap. If you want to follow us on social media, you can at the number 2 Pros and a Joe on Twitter, Instagram, and then Facebook. You can type in the same thing. Then you got Greg at Catch Camarillo, Marcus at Marcus McNeil 73, and I am at Matt Skraby. So let's jump right into it. And the big thing that we're going to start with here is the Dallas Cowboys and what they look like last night on Monday Night Football. Now, maybe Mike McCarthy knows how many timeouts he has. Maybe he doesn't. We'll talk about that maybe in DeFuck. Actually, I'm going to bring that up in our DeFuck episode.
All
but
right.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys and the defense look really good. They handled the Eagles last night, no problem. And I think that barring them stepping on their own feet, I think that they're going to be a playoff team for sure. And they're probably going to win the NFC East. I mean, there's no other chance.
God damn, they look good last night. I'm telling you, they look like America's team, the way they came in there and beat the Eagles' ass. And I wasn't expecting that. Even though the Eagles team isn't that good, they've looked consistently good week in and week out, starting with week 1 when they played the Bucs.
The offensive line, you know, I'm quick to give a quarterback and receiver love, but it is glaringly apparent with the Cowboys that offensive line is handling business. They got running backs getting 8 yards before they're even touched. That dominates games, and that's what's going to take them into the playoffs because the division sucks, man. Washington football team's all right. Giants are weak, and we just saw what they did to the Eagles.
Why is the NFC East so terrible every single year? It's always year after year after year. The NFC East is just awful. And I don't get it.
Their fans are all the way up here. It's like, you know, they have diehard fans, the Cowboys fans. We all know the Eagles fans are rough. So even if they sorry as hell, they feel like they got a shot, right? You know what I'm saying? So like,
I guess
it's like you always get that chatter and you never know what Washington football team's going to do. I mean, they have a monstrous D-line. You know, they have pieces where it seems like they can win, but it's always down the toilet with them, you know?
It's those loud fans, man, because they're not. I mean, historically, not that bad. The Eagles just won with Nick.
I guess they won a Super Bowl
years ago.
Yeah.
They had a run. Eli Manning and the Giants. They had a little run.
Yeah, but he made the playoffs at like 9-7.
I mean, yes.
But did they win? They won the Super Bowl, though.
They did.
Won the Super Bowl.
They did. And last year,
It's-
the NFC East, it's a Washington football team at 7-9.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad, but it's the barking that makes you just happy when they suck. The Cowboy fans are annoying. The Eagles fans are annoying. Giants fans are annoying. Washington football team fans, they're all right.
Do they even have fans in Washington football team? Like they're just kind of like, nobody even knows. They're just kind of tweeners, you know.
Do you guys, when you guys played, was there an NFC East city that you hated the most? I mean, I can imagine that the Giants would be pretty bad. I can imagine the Cowboys just because it's such a big stadium, but the Eagles has a smaller, intimate stadium, so it might be louder.
You know, I liked all 4 of those places, though, to be honest. Like, Dallas was a cool city. And I used to like them. Like, we go out, when we get to a city, especially the East Coast team, you got 2 days. So, like, you really get to kick it, go get some dinner, some nice restaurants, you know what I'm saying? Kind of check out the night scene and see what's going on. At least that's what I was doing every time we went to the East Coast. And all those cities were dope.
I was traded 1 week before getting to play in Jerry's World, right when it was brand new. I had it on my calendar. I was ready to go. I was like, man, I get to see that screen. They said, no, man, nope, sorry, you got to go. Bro. So I'd never seen Jerry's World, but the Eagles, their fans are rough, man, on both sides. They'll boo their own team. They'll boo you. They throw eggs at the bus. Giants fans they're whatever. They wasn't bad. It's the Jets in that same stadium when the real fans come up. And the Washington football team, it's a cool stadium. It's a good place to play.
I think I listened to New York State of Mind the whole time we was playing the Giants. Like that's all. To New York, like I'm in there feeling like Jay. I felt sexy as shit.
Well, the Cowboys this year are probably going to win the NFC East, and they're going to win with a winning record at least. But Jalen Hurts did something after the game last night I thought was hilarious because they looked terrible, and they even got a gift-wrapped touchdown from Dak Prescott fumbling in his own end zone right into the Eagles' hands. But Jalen Hurts, his quote last night about last night's terrible performance was, quote, "You take your deuce, you don't sit there and look at it, you flush it and move on. We're going to flush it and move on," which is so like it. You would think that I would love that quote, but it grosses me out. It grosses me out.
He said it with this little smirk on his face too. Like, I got a great analogy.
He should have made a courtesy flush after the first half. Like, don't wait. Don't wait to smell it.
And came back out.
Yeah. Don't sit there and bask in it.
When you take a normal deuce, you don't look at it. But when you drop a deuce as abnormal as they did, you might want to check out what's in there.
Oh, good point.
You might want to go back and look at that film.
Good point. There might
where
be
you
some,
flush it down.
Might be some hidden berries in there or something like that. You need to make sure. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, he looked terrible. That analogy grossed me out. Like every time I heard it today, I wanted to gag. I don't know why. I get it.
Makes sense.
But when I was in a football locker room, which was in high school,
that's a tough locker room.
Guys liked to tell us about their big shits, and I was not one of those guys.
Damn, Scrapes.
No, I remember
in that locker room, but I will tell you this: traveling, particularly to old stadiums. So let's see. I traveled to Candlestick. Scrapes, you're a Niners fan.
Yeah.
There's 2 crappers.
Whoa.
In the preseason, there's 90-something guys on a roster.
Oh no.
2 crappers, 90-something guys. One, there's like a line for days. So you're sitting there 30 minutes pregame. But imagine what that is like, the air of 2 crappers, 90 guys. I mean, that's probably why the Niners were so good in their Candlestick days.
Hey, y'all wild.
People are holding their shit in.
No, fuck, Greg, I can't believe you waiting to sit on the toilet and 90 other ass cheeks been on. I'm not a public crapper. Like I gotta take a dump before I leave the hotel in my own personal room. I actually like a cool porcelain backside. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want that shit to be warmed up already. You know, like I'm sitting on a crock pot or some shit.
Sitting like, there, gross shit like that.
Oh man, I was on bus one. Man, I had to beat all the fat guys in there. I had to get I'm a bus 3 guy. I was that guy. Like, hey, I'm trying to sleep in. I'm coming in right before the game. Like, hey, where's the Popeyes at? You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to have like a little stash of Popeyes before every game, and I used to grab me a piece because I wouldn't even like to eat. I just had like a drumstick and stay home. You have fried chicken before football games?
Fuck yeah! What are you talking about?
Really? Yes. Oh my god!
What did you eat, Greg?
Probably like the basics, salad. Like fucking rice and chicken and vegetables, like maybe a peanut butter jelly sandwich, like something that I know is just not gonna leave me to drop a deuce like Jalen Hurts.
No.
Oh my god! Can you imagine being behind Vince Wilfork in that bathroom line, just knowing that when he goes in there, he's gonna break the toilet, number one.
I've been in similar situations.
That is so gross. That is disgusting.
It's the worst smell ever. You don't want to smell the inside of an NFL locker room. Like, I was shit it on. Like that shit is horrible. Like you don't even like you think you're gagging. You think you're gagging, like put 13 toilets side by side.
Or just 13 300-pounders
side by that's 200. Like they're gonna average out 250 a piece. You know what I'm saying? So now you got 13, 26 after 2 rounds, 250-pound shits going.
That is so gross. The only time I was ever really in an NFL locker room was the year before the Chargers left. I went down to after the season ended with Nick Hardwick, and we were walking through the locker room, and I know that people were packing up and all that stuff, but it smelled so bad. It smelled like just garbage and hot garbage.
That's it.
Tossed on top of it.
That's those Qualcomm locker rooms.
Anyway, all right, we got to move on because I'm getting sick.
Let's go from taking shits to the man who is the shit.
No,
Rodgers.
no, I can't do it.
Yes.
I can't do it. You guys were giving me a hard time on Sunday night when the 49ers were losing to Aaron Rodgers because apparently the 49ers don't know how to play defense past the 50-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, though, 37 seconds, I knew it. I knew that was too much time with no timeouts.
He went full discount double check on that one. But I mean, it was a thing of absolute beauty watching him deliver this pass over Fred Warner's outstretched hands to Devontae Adams. That's a 10 out of 10 pass right there. To do that, 10. Oh my God, it was Skraby. I know you hurt, your Niners were hurt, but that was a thing of beauty, man.
I agree. Aaron Rodgers, it looks like he's just throwing off his back foot every time now.
Yeah,
and he's still dropping dimes.
Bro, that might have been like one of the best dimes I've seen all year, because like that, you don't even realize the accuracy you have to have on that, because like you have to already throw it to a man cutting across the field, right? So you have to actually throw the ball to meet him at the right spot. But then you got a linebacker right in front of him, so you have to throw it just high enough to get it over the top. Bro, like that's like some LeBron James, like Magic Johnson, like one of those crazy type dimes, you know what I'm saying? And I know it hurt you, Skraby, but it was a thing of beauty to watch.
It was. I'm over it now. That was
outstanding analysis from a big guy right there. From an O-lineman to break down a pass game like that, that was well done.
Hey, I'll be watching y'all. I'll be watching.
Yeah, it hurt me in the moment, but I'm over it now because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best of all time. So I got to just deal with the fact that he's going to beat them. Before we move on, though, Jimmy G showing his balls, driving down the field, scoring late, 28-27. I mean, come on. And he also said later, because they had 12 seconds on the play clock, and people asked him, why didn't you take more time off the clock? And he said the defense was on their heels, and we didn't want them to set up, have 10 seconds to figure it out. So we just went for it.
That's fair. That's a good answer. When you're behind playing like that to catch up, or to take the lead, I think it was, you don't have the luxury of let's run this clock down all the way. You got to go score. I like Jimmy G's answer, and I like the way he played. The dude is good. He's just often injured. When he's out there, he's a good quarterback.
He looked impressive. I don't understand why they pulled Trey Lance in for that touchdown.
Thank you.
To me, it just caused too much of a disrupt right now. If anything, give Jimmy G the chance to kind of get his confidence up so they can be the playoff team that they look like. Just sit Trey Lance for right now, especially since everything's going good and y'all playing good, and then give him time to like come in whenever it's time, but don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just keep on trying to throw in these trick plays where I feel like it messes with your starting quarterback QB1's confidence more than it is.
I was thinking about
a team.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because then they brought him back in and he rolled out to the right and he was going to pass it. And the whole time I was like, this is why he's not the starter. This is why he's just didn't look comfortable passing the ball. Now running the ball is a whole different thing. He turned the corner and it worked, but I get what you're saying, Marcus.
He's not the starter because he's not better than Jimmy G. Because if he was better than Jimmy G, he'd be out there. But I actually love them putting him out there for two reasons. One, it makes defenses plan for it. So every time in the red zone, you have to say, okay, when Trey Lance comes in, who's got so-and-so on the quarterback option, who, on a direct snap, all those things, like you got to game plan that. But also it keeps him mentally locked into the game, snap by snap. If you're not playing unless somebody gets hurt, you're not 100% in there. Yeah. If okay, it's in the red zone, they got 4 plays for me, you're locked in the whole time. So I like keeping him in there. I like getting him that game action. It's going to pay off.
You know what's fucked up? This is going to sound like kind of crazy. I remember when I got to the league, I thought I wasn't going to start. So I was actually a little excited, right? Because I had just came from Auburn high school, played every game, almost every snap, everywhere. So now it's like, oh shit, I get to come up here and be a backup. You know what I mean? Shit, I'm gonna be chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like travel
2 chicken wings before the backup game.
You know what I'm saying? Give them a couple high fives and shit. Then I come out there, they're like, oh shit, you're the starter. I was like, But damn, there that go. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to actually come to work on Sunday.
Got to play, man. Got to play.
Oh, man. Well, let's go from the highest of highs in quarterback play to the lowest of lows in quarterback play. And that would be Carson Wentz and the Colts. They are 0-3. They're probably the most surprising team at 0-3. The other teams are the Jaguars at 0-3, the Jets at 0-3. I think everybody expected that to happen. And you also have the New York Giants at 0-3, the Detroit Lions at 0-3. So Carson Wentz, though, he's an enigma within a conundrum, I think is what they say, because I cannot figure this guy out. He's got all the physical tools, but I did find it funny when they said on the injury report that he had ankles, not just one ankle.
How do you do that? Like, how do you? I was thinking that the whole time, Skraby. How the hell do you have two hurt? Like, how do you roll both your ankles? Like, did you roll the first one and then, like, when you walking off, fucked around and roll the second one? I don't understand that one. Maybe that shit baffled me.
But I mean, what do you guys think about Carson Wentz? I don't know. I don't know why he's not good. Frank Reich is a good coach. He was his coach in Philadelphia for his offensive coordinator, and the Colts, they were a Super Bowl contender before the year, but they're staring down 3 losses.
I mean, so that I had problem with them being a Super Bowl contender early on. And it was, so they had a good run with Phillip Rivers at quarterback. They were missing some pieces. And then they lose Phillip Rivers and they're suddenly supposed to be better. We know Carson Wentz isn't better than Phillip Rivers. So I'm not sure how to math add it up, but Carson Wentz was benched for a reason. He wasn't playing at a high level. He has that potential, but he wasn't. And what we're seeing early on is he's not returned to the Carson Wentz we once saw.
Now, everybody just thinks that he's going to be that Carson Wentz that was the league MVP candidate. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I was waiting for, because it was similar to me where Phillip didn't have an offensive line. And then when they moved him to the Colts with an offensive line, he was able to thrive, right? So I think people were thinking the exact same thing with Carson Wentz. He's coming from not having an offensive line, facing injury all the time. The team really didn't believe in him no more. And now he has a new offensive line and he has the credibility where he was up for MVP before. So now you put him in that system, they expect for him to thrive too, but shit, it just look like Carson Wentz winced. You know what I'm saying?
He winced. That's what we're gonna have to call that. We're gonna have to call it Wentz. I like Carson Bench and I like Wentz. I like both one
makes a little more sense.
I know. And then I just Carson Wentz. I will always go back to the time I went to the Super Bowl for Radio Row in Minnesota, and I saw him on his little crutches, crutching down a hall with all of his teammates, not helping him while he was trying to carry a bunch of stuff. He was trying to carry like a playbook. Right there, Skraby. I was like, that just tells me everything you need to know. If I'm a guy and there's a guy struggling behind me, I'm going to help him out. But none of those people helped him out. So
silently saying, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah. And the last topic we have in this episode of Two Pros and a Joe is Josh Gordon.
Yes,
he is back with the Chiefs, and Greg is apparently very excited about
that.
And Marcus is doing the smoking symbol down there. But number one, it tells me the Chiefs are they're stressing right now. They're stressing at 1 and 2.
It should be.
And they're like, wait a second, Pringle can't do anything. McCole Hardman can't do anything. Tyreek Hill's double teamed. Travis Kelce's double teamed.
They are in last place in the AFC West.
That's crazy.
And that's the Kansas City Chiefs, last place.
They lose to the Chargers, and Patrick Mahomes looked pretty bad this year. Not bad for Patrick Mahomes' standard, I would have to say.
He had never thrown a pick in September until this year, and now he's thrown 3 or 4. I'd like to say they're struggling.
Go check it out.
We'll later this week with our podcast, we're going to rank the AFC West team, so I won't drop any spoiler alerts on that. But Josh Gordon, to me, have you guys seen the show Shameless?
Yes. Oh my God, I love this show. I just started watching it.
Fucking great show.
Is he like Frank?
I love them all because they're just a total disaster of a family, and it's so intriguing to see how that disaster grows. Josh Gordon is the Shameless of the NFL. This dude shows up, gets you intrigued, life falls apart. Shows up, gets you intrigued, and we're like 10 seasons into this show. Like
we still watching, locked in,
coming back. But Marty Schottenheimer, our coach, Marcus and I's coach, told us you're going to get as many chances as you're worth. And that dude is worth a lot of chances. He has had a lot of chances. All you got to do is put him out there and say, go. And he's a matchup nightmare. So why not put him out there opposite Tyreek Hill, opposite Travis Kelce? And if they go man to man, just throw that shit up because he's going to go get it. He's also going to go get a blunt on the way.
Hey, he always ends up on the right team too. It's so crazy. Like he ends up on some, like New England gives him a shot, right? You know, automatic Super Bowl contender every year.
Seattle.
Now Kansas City gives him a shot.
Should he be playing for like the Lions or something? Like a terrible team?
Everybody goes down Detroit.
Jacksonville. Like that's where I honestly, as a former or as a recovering addict, I think Josh Gordon has been given so many chances that it makes me want to drink just so I could see if I get more chances again. Because
don't do it, Skraby.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to drink.
Don't do it. He runs like a 4.3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I ran a 5.2 in high school. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But does he run a 4.3? Do we even know? That was like in 2013 that he ran a 4.3.
He's 30. He doesn't run that anymore, but that's okay. He's still a beast.
All right. Well, Patrick Mahomes has 3 interceptions, by the way, which is crazy. Which is definitely crazy for Patrick Mahomes' standard. And you said he hadn't. Greg just said he had an interception in September ever, and now he's got 3. So. We'll see what happens.
I want to hear like Marcus's take on this, but so I think the problem I have with the Chiefs, the turnovers are it, but the right side of the offensive line. So center is a rookie, right guard is a rookie, right tackle has 1 year of experience. So you're looking at 3 dudes coming on the passing side of the quarterback that don't have much experience. Like Mark, tell me if I'm wrong, Marcus, but to me that's a problem. Like, will those guys gel over the course of the year and start protecting him?
To be honest, when you get thrown in that fire, you either even I'm talking about fire, you either sink or you swim, you know, like seriously. Like, and I think if you lose that confidence early on, you really end up spiraling. And now you're not really gonna have the confidence to go out there and feel like you can compete. So I don't think you can really gel from that. Mm-hmm. Now, what could happen is now you might give another lineman or somebody else a shot to step up and play, and then they end up showing out because they know this is their one shot. Yeah. So if you have to do that, I'd rather see you do that. But continue to get pressure on the quarterback and him always having people in his face. I don't care who you are, unless you're Tom Brady, it just doesn't work. He's the only quarterback I've seen actually do pretty decent with a pretty trash offensive line.
And also, real quick, I was thinking about Drew Brees doing the Sunday Night Football. I liked how he is breaking things down, and he is not afraid to criticize players when they deserve to be criticized.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's different because usually those guys are friends and they don't criticize. But Drew Brees was like, why are you trying a no-look pass when you don't need to do the no-look pass? And that caused one of the interceptions.
Speak on it, man. Speak on it, Drew. Like, to me, it's football. Like, it's not like you're picking on people when you're talking about the shit that they mess up on, because that's the same shit that they're going to talk about on the bus anyway.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and in meetings.
Yeah, you're talking about that when it happens. So it used to be this famous phrase, and it's probably still famous: the eye in the sky does not lie. So by the time this shit happens, like, this shit is fact. You know what I'm saying? So if you threw a bullshit ass pass off your back foot, something get intercepted or something like that, you got to be able to sit there and take that. You know, like, you just have to. I'm sorry. So Drew Brees, keep on dropping their ass.
Yeah. I love it. All right. We're going to wrap up this episode of Two Pros and a Joe. We are going to talk more about the AFC West in our next episode this week. We're going to rank the teams in the AFC West. We're also going to do our second edition of The Fuck?
The Fuck?
And we got some good ones for that. So please make sure you follow us on all the social media at Two Pros and a Joe. Please make sure you rate us on iTunes and you subscribe to our podcast and help us grow. Please, we love to see people help us grow, and we appreciate it. So we will be back with another podcast here in tomorrow, actually. Thursday is when it's going to come out. So look out for that, and we will be talking AFC West. Anything else, guys, before we head out?
Boom. See you later in the week.
Boom, roasted. Deuces in the toilet. Don't look at them.
We'll talk about it later.
Deuces. Don't look at them.